Oh, good morning, everyone. I would like to call a feel good Thursday, everyone. I am your host for today's Morning Buzz on WMSC Upper Montclair, Isaias Ramirez, joined by my co host, Cameron Martin, and our amazing newscaster. Some would say the best of the best on the Morning Buzz. Ali Leach is here too. Shout out to Kenny and the crew filling in for me last week. I had plans and enjoyed the air, as they say. And how's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Do-
Pretty good, Isaiah. How you doing?
Love to hear it. Allie, you're good too?
Yeah, doing good, doing good.
Love to
Very good
hear it.
day.
You want to lead us with the newscast for the day?
Yeah, let's get right into it. So, in international news, China blasts a dam to divert dangerous floods. PBS reports that China's military has blasted a dam to release flood waters threatening one of its most populated provinces. The dam operation took place in the city of Luoyang as the severe flooding was overwhelming the provincial capital of Zhengzhou, trapping residents in subway systems and at their offices. So far, the widespread flooding has resulted in 25 deaths and 7 people currently missing. In national news, the western wildfires are now affecting people on the East Coast. Smoke from the wildfires on the West Coast in states such as California and Oregon has reached all the way across the US to the East Coast. NPR reports that smoke has settled over major cities, including New York and Philadelphia. Air quality warnings have been spread across the East Coast, and officials have warned that poor air quality can make healthy people sick as well. The smoke is likely to stick around for a little bit as long as the fires keep burning and the weather stays dry. In local news, Essex County is sending its mobile vaccine clinic to Montclair State University on 3 different days in August, where employees and students are eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine at no cost. Patch.com reports that the clinics will run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on August 2nd, August 9th, and August 16th. The clinics will be located right on campus next to the Panzer Athletic Center in Lot 7, and all 3 approved vaccines will be available. And now time for a weather update. In Montclair, New Jersey, it is currently 70 degrees with a high of 82 and a low of 61 degrees. And it is going to be sunny all day with just a few clouds. And that is
Just
it. And I'm going to throw it back to Isaias.
wow, that was stellar newscast as always, Allie. We love to have it here on the Thursday edition of the Morning Buzz. But we also have another featuring segment. And Cam, you want to maybe do a sportscast today?
Hey, I'm always with a sportscast.
Yes.
So yesterday, the Mets took on the Reds. Dom Smith hit a grand slam and Marcus Stroman pitched to Jim. The Mets win it 7-0. The Phillies came up to the Bronx yesterday. Ryan Lamar's walk-off single made the difference for the Yankees to win it 6-5. There was a lot of hits that game. The NHL expansion draft took place for the Seattle Kraken. I can't say many of the names, so I don't want to butcher anything out of respect. So that happened yesterday. College athletics, Texas and Oklahoma are trying to be part of the SEC, and the Olympics have started up. Team USA won softball 1-0. That's your sports report for the day.
Thank you, Cam, for that. And I will say something interesting about the NHL expansion draft or whatever it was. I feel like the NHL doesn't want to be popular at all because how come I've never heard of this even happening until today? So I feel like they're doing it they're not doing anything to really promote the NHL themselves, I feel.
Hey, man,
Is that just me?
I see what you're saying. It's just I don't know if they have the money as the other sports really do have.
They just signed a multi-year deal with ESPN, no? And a bunch of other networks.
I think it starts up this upcoming year. So I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know. We're
Be
gonna
better,
see.
NHL. That's what I'm trying to say.
We're gonna see where that leads up to the NHL.
Hmm. But we do have some more sports-like conversation, not directly about the sports, but more behind the scenes on what is going on in the Olympics, as the Olympics opening ceremony director has been terminated for a Holocaust joke he has made. Footage of Kentaro Kobayashi from the 1990s recently emerged in which he appears to be making jokes about the Holocaust. Kobayashi was strongly criticized for a sketch he performed 23 years ago, in which he and another comedian pretend to be children entertainers. In the sketch, Mr. Kobayashi turns to his colleagues and refers to some paper dolls as they're saying, "The ones from the times you said, let's play the Holocaust." Japan's chief Saiko Hashimoto said the video ridiculed painful facts of the history of the Holocaust. And just to give you some background, Tokyo 2020 has been postponed last year, obviously because of the COVID pandemic. And they have already had three men step down since the start of 2021. Earlier this week, a composer quit the team, creating the ceremony after it emerged that he had bullied classmates with disabilities at school. In March, Olympics creative chief Hiroshi Sasaki quit after suggesting that plus-size comedian Naomi Watanabe could appear as an Olympig. He later apologized. And in February, Yoshihiro Mori was forced to step down as head of the organizing committee after he made remarks about women that were criticized as, quote, inappropriate. Mr. Mori was quoted as saying women talk too much and that meetings with many female board directors would take a lot of time. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshide Suga described the comments as outrageous and unacceptable, and Rabbi Abraham Cooper of the US-based Holocaust research body, Simon Wiesenthal Center, said, any person, no matter how creative, does not have the right to mock the victims of the Nazi genocide. Mr. Kobayashi also issued a statement responding to his dismissal, quote, entertainment should not make people feel uncomfortable. I understand my stupid choice of words that was wrong at the time, and I regret it. And that is what's going on in Tokyo, guys, right now. What are your guys' thoughts?
That's disgusting. It's very disgusting to see that grown individuals like this, of high power, high respects, and not only the Olympic world but the sports world in general, would do things such as make those inappropriate comments and just do things that would deter a lot of people around the world. It just shines a negative light on the nation of Japan, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way I see it.
Yeah, Ali, got
I
anything?
am. I was gonna say, I think obviously what he said was wrong. These comments aren't acceptable ever. But what I thought was interesting was that kind of just the fact that it was from the 90s and how it's being brought up now over 20 years later. It's not that I'm like trying to defend what he's saying, but like it's kind of interesting how now like anything that you might have done in the past, like even if you think you've like grown as a person, like it can come up and still affect you. You know what I mean? So I think that's just kind of interesting about it. Kind of shows like how cancel culture like is even like in the Olympics now.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
real.
See, you mentioned I personally, this is my opinion. What I say does not reflect the opinion of the station. I think cancel culture is foolish. Because, and here's why I say this. Yeah, people make mistakes in the past. Like, I'm not defending what he said at all. Like, don't get me wrong. That's what he did, what he said, that the whole skit, inappropriate. But for someone to, do something in college or, even, as a kid, people don't know better at that point in life. We're still trying to grow as individuals, trying to grow as better people. And it just doesn't add up to see what's, cancel culture. What does it really do? You made one mistake in your life that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But if the way I see it is this, why would I get that you got to be more careful with your words, but it's the fact that you made a mistake so many years ago, yet it's going to come back and affect you in a way that is just it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I guarantee that none of us are perfect. I could name countless times I've done stupid stuff. I could name countless times, but
even
that's
10 years ago.
Even just like like 2 years ago.
Like last year, I'll probably be like, man, I really probably shouldn't have said that.
Exactly. Like,
yeah,
that's the beauty about being a human. But you're gonna criticize us. What right do we have to criticize somebody? Like I said, don't get me wrong. What he said is highly inappropriate, highly disgusting. But what gives us the right as a human to criticize another human being for their flaws? We have just as many flaws, if not more, as any other person in the world.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree. And I was gonna say, like, if like it was possible, we'd all be canceled at one point, I feel like, because everyone makes mistakes. And how else are you gonna learn from your
Mhm.
mistakes unless you make those
Exactly.
mistakes and someone tells you, and they like, someone tells you like, hey, you made this mistake in a reasonable manner instead of, costing this man his job and his livelihood. You know what I mean? Like, people grow as humans, and like, not that I'm saying that what he did was right. It was disgusting and should have never been done. I'm not defending the jokes that he made. They were disgusting, but it was in the 90s, and who's to say that someone hasn't educated him already and he hasn't done his research and learned and grew? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's sometimes that I struggle with when it comes to comedy, especially because there's a lot of like unwritten things you can talk about, and for some reason you can talk about. Like a lot of people have, like Pete Davidson has made 9/11 jokes, and I guess it depends on like the nuance about it, because obviously I believe his dad died in the 9/11. I believe so, yeah. But it's just sometimes people forget that comedy is comedy. And once again, like I don't want to say like I'm like backing the guy that made a Holocaust joke, but at the end of the day, I feel like you shouldn't really take comedians too seriously about political stances and things that happened in history. So I think like terminating the guy from his position was a bit of a overstretch. I feel like they probably at the most could have fined him or something. And he seemed apologetic about the whole situation. And he's fine with like the Olympics going on without him at this point. So I don't know. It's kind of well, obviously he is stupid for making a Holocaust joke, because I don't even think why even bother trying to make that? Like, there's really no like, what's the bet? You're gonna get a couple laughs in the TV show or whatever it was on. But yeah, that's all I got on that one, guys. Anything else to add? No, nothing.
I'm really trying to think. You know, for him to make those comments, time as time goes on, you start to realize that the power of your words really stay effective, really stay strong. I actually have a quote right next to me. It says, "Keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. Keep your values positive because your values become your destiny." Mahatma Gandhi said that one. And I think in terms of for all this, what he said, that's he had negative thoughts, and as a result of those negative thoughts at the time, look what's happening to him almost 25 years later. His destiny just lost. Yeah, he lost his job. Like you said, it's kind of an extreme, but if it's for an event like the Olympics, a worldwide event that everyone's watching, I think that's an appropriate step that they had to take, because it shows that the Japanese government does not tolerate any discriminatory comments, and that's I feel that's an appropriate way to handle it. It's just that's just the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean on that. I think either way could have been fine. And hopefully he's learned his lesson at this point, 23 years later as well. And I'm sure he's grown as a person, probably has kids and all this stuff, and he realized what he said was bad. But we're going to transition into another story, which Cam, you could take the way on this one.
I got you. As wildlife smoke spreads, who's at risk? Smoke from the wildfires in western United States and Canada is blanketing much of the continent, including thousands of miles away on the East Coast. And as experts say, the phenomenon is becoming more common as the human-caused global warming stokes bigger and more intense blazes. These fires are going to be burning all summer, said University of Washington wildfire smoke expert Dan Jaffe. In terms of bad air quality, everywhere in the country is going to be worse than an average this year. The number of unhealthy air quality days recorded in 2021 by pollution monitors nationwide is more than double the number to date in each of the last 2 years, according to figures provided by the Associated Press by the Environmental Protection Agency. Wildfires are likely to driving much of an increase, officials say. Health effects can occur thousands of miles from the flames. The smoke loses its telltale odor, but remains a potential hazard even when it drifts that far, said Jeff Pierce, an astronautical scientist at Colorado State University. To protect yourself, listen for the warnings about smoke, and if advised, avoid outdoor activities to reduce exposure. Keep doors and windows closed, and run an air filter inside the house for clean air. Face masks can be protect against breathing smoke in. As with COVID-19, the most effective are the N95 masks because they are designed to block the smartest particles. How do you feel about that one? You got to go back to wearing masks?
Ooh, here's the thing. Did you guys walk outside yesterday, like the past 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty like it was trippy almost walking outside because like I wasn't expecting it because I didn't really watch the news before I was going to work or anything or check my phone. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, why does it feel like that? And then I'm going about my day and then I go to work and then I leave and then like my mom is like telling me like about all like the wildfire effects and all this stuff. I was like, oh, that's what that was? Like that was uncomfortable. So it's kind of weird. And I didn't know it could even go that far from like West Coast to East Coast. Like I know in Puerto Rico they get like Sahara Desert particles that fly over there. So I'm not surprised, but I was like, I had no clue this was even happening. Like I thought maybe like my phone would give me a warning or something, but you never know.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like 2 days ago, I went to a Yankee game, and as we were going into the city, like half the skyline was covered by smoke and clouds, and it looked very weird. I've never in my 20 years of living in New Jersey, I've never seen the New York skyline like that. And it was very weird. And when we were in the stadium and the lights, you could actually see like the smoke just hanging around in there. And it was really weird.
Sheesh.
And it was kind of scary. I was like, I'm sitting outside all day at a baseball game, breathing this in. Is this safe? But
See,
yeah, very weird.
I think what it is, I live in South Jersey, so I've not really been affected by it too much. At least I don't think I have been. But that's kind of something that it's kind of eye-opening to us as New Jerseyans because it's one of those things that you get used to getting back to normal, living without wearing a mask. But now we gotta go right back to the mask mindset. And it's gonna be kind of interesting to see where this leads us to. But it's gonna be a necessary step for us to make sure that everything just keeps running smoothly as possible.
Yeah, I think like the levels were at what was it the other day, like 101 or something around there.
Sheesh.
Which
Wow.
I think that means people with like asthma or people like with like respiratory issues or shouldn't really be outside at all at that range, which is that's concerning because we're dealing with COVID still, and then we got to add this onto the system, like you said, and people are taking off their masks, not putting them back on. I myself have kept my mask on for as long as possible because I'm trying to hide my identity from everyone. But no, I'm kidding. This is crazy. Like, have you seen I saw the video of the New York skyline because I was, doing some research last night, and as you were saying, Ali, it was like the whole thing was just covered in like a cloud of smoke. Very trippy to see.
Yeah, it like at first I thought there was a big fire somewhere in New Jersey. I didn't realize it was like the fire smoke coming from like the West Coast. That's how like potent it was. I thought there was a fire in New York somewhere. And then I realized, like, I looked it up and like I saw that and I was like, wow, like, and then I was like starting to think, how bad are these fires that their smoke is traveling across the country? I'm very concerned for the West Coast right now.
Yeah, there's one in Oregon, which I believe was like they said it was half the size of Rhode Island of just fire. So if that gives you any help, kind of seeing how big that would be, that's absurd. Of just flames is half the size of a state in the United States, which like I know it's a small state, but still, that's a lot of burning area that's just nonstop. Oh, yeah. And if you don't believe in global warming now, do you need more proof? It's it's been a tough year and it just keeps on adding more.
What I'm gonna say is this, I personally did not know about the skyline like literally until this morning, like as you guys just said it. So like that's really just like crazy to me that thousands of miles away you got the smoke is being carried over via wind, and it's affecting us. That shit is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
No, I hope that those firefighters are able to are able to contain the fires, and are able to do this as safely as possible. At the end of the day, they're risking their lives to make sure that we look the the greater good is taken care of. So it's a shout out to all the firefighters out there, all their families. You're in my thoughts and
Shout
prayers.
out. Yes, sir. Couldn't say it any better, Cam. But before we transition, I gotta ask Ali. You were in New York, so how did it feel in the stadium for that long? Were you getting like kind of congested or anything, or did you feel normal?
Well, I mean, it's New York, so I always feel congested. When I'm in New York.
That's fair. That's fair. Was it extra congestion?
It kind of felt the same. I didn't notice any breathing problems. I have asthma, so like I will normally just be like out of breath sometimes, like on a very hot day. So I just kind of attested it to the heat. I didn't really think that it could have been the smoke. But inside the stadium, it wasn't that bad, except for when you looked up into the lights. I didn't really notice any effects, but like anyone else could have
Okay.
if they had, maybe some underlying conditions or just maybe are recovering from COVID. But I have not had COVID, so hopefully that helped me out with this wildfire smoke we are now facing.
You have
Bro,
unlimited capacity in the lungs.
it probably
Undefeated.
looks so crazy from inside the stadium.
It looked
Yeah.
very weird. There was just like when you looked up at the stadium lights, it was just like a plummet of smoke. It looked like people were like smoking or something inside the stadium. It was very weird.
Jeez.
That's crazy. That's all that's on. This is the best way to describe it. Is just crazy, man. I don't. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with this anytime soon again. But we are going to transition into our favorite apps in which we can get from point A to point B, and that is Uber and Lyft. And their drivers have struck nationwide. They're on strike nationwide for better pay. App-based drivers across the country are on strike, demanding better work conditions, improved pay, and legal protections, according to lobbying group Rideshare Drivers United. The California-based organization asked drivers and riders alike to boycott for 24 hours. There will be rallies in 11 different cities. The drivers-led group said many of the issues are direct results of Proposition 22, the California ballot measure passed in 2020 that clarifies app-based drivers as independent contractors rather than employees for eligible benefits and job protections. They promise us flexibility, greater control, and greater transparency, driver Carlos Pelayo said. But since Prop 22 passed, I have less control over when I drive, who I pick up, and how much I make. Prop 22 was the most expensive lie ever told to California voters. This is wild because have you guys ever seen these videos online of like Uber and Lyft drivers interacting with customers that will like cancel the ride as soon as like they move like
Yeah,
one block? I'm like,
yeah.
and then they're telling them like you have to get out of my car, and then the people in the car is like, you're taking me to my destination. And for some people, they can control the situation and get the person out of the car. But I'm sure like there's a lot of unrecorded encounters in which people might feel like life threatened or something as something like that would happen. So I think these people definitely need better protection. I don't know what is going on behind the scenes of Uber and Lyft, but it's very disappointing to see like this isn't like this can't be normal where you try to do Uber and Lyft and then someone's threatening to like steal your car if you don't take them to your destined area. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
No, now that you mentioned, I remember seeing a video. I think like late last year, earlier this year, about this driver who was threatened, and the individual stole the driver's car, and at the result, the driver got killed because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things that, like, wow, I didn't realize it was because of all this right here. It's just disturbing to see that, you know, I personally, I DoorDash, I try to get into Uber, try to get to Lyft, and I didn't realize that all this right here was to, this was in place. I didn't understand that I didn't have really much control of where I was going. It's just a matter of I was just driving to drive, to make some money. But now seeing all this stuff come out, it's kind of concerning to me. And might take a step back to reconsider some things.
Ali, got anything in there?
I was gonna say I think this is, I don't know. I say good for them, for the drivers, for
Yeah.
taking a break and standing up for themselves, because like you said, I always see videos like of people in Ubers and then they cancel the ride and expect the driver to like take them somewhere. And it's like there's nothing really that like these Uber drivers can do if they were in that situation. They just got to cancel the ride. They can't report it to Uber or anything, not that I'm aware of. And it's like these people can just keep doing it again, and like the drivers are like the ones that are taking the hit for it when they're the ones trying to be scammed. So I think like Uber needs to kind of like step up and like just protect their employees, because I feel like they definitely have the money to like put in a few extra protection measures for them. But
1,000%, 1,000%.
I think, right?
yeah,
1,000%.
but
I get robbed from Uber all the time. Sorry.
I say good for them though for standing up for themselves, and hopefully Uber listens. And my message to Uber is listen. Listen to your employees when they say they want to be treated better, and you will get good employees.
Wow, controversial take from Ali. Treat your employees well and they will work well for you. That is absurd. How dare you ask to do that?
I don't know if it's
Dude, also that on top of that, look out for us. Don't pay us that small base pay. Let us get some more compensation, because I'm just saying, like, people around here are they're kind of crazy. So I might need a little bit more compensation to appease myself, make sure that I'm taken care of.
Exactly. We got bills to pay, everyone.
Exactly.
Yes.
Uber.
I say that like 3 times a day. I just gotta pay my bills, guys.
Uber, can you pay my bills?
For real. Sponsor me? Huh? No, I'm kidding. Don't. Stay away from me, Uber. I'm with the drivers here. I'm going on strike. I'm not going to use Uber or Lyft for the next 3 months. And you heard it here first on the Morning Buzz. I'm taking a stand with my fellow drivers by sitting down. But on that note, we are going to take a quick break here on the Morning Buzz. Stay tuned for some more stories with us 3 in the studio. Not really, but anyways, go to break. Ghost of Kenny. Welcome back, everyone. Enjoying your summer vacation, as they say. We are back, us 3. We got me, Isaias Ramirez, Cameron Martin, Ali Leach, for some more Morning Buzz amazingness. And I will say, guys, I'm ready to get this second half of the show started. So Cam, lead the way on our next story.
I got you. California sues Activision Blizzard, alleging culture of sexual harassment. Activision Blizzard is a leading gaming platform with approximately 9,500 total employees and over 100 million players worldwide. It makes games such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, and more. California's Department of Fair Employment and Housing filed a civil lawsuit on Tuesday against one of America's largest game developers, Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, alleging multiple female employees were subject to gender discrimination, sexual harassment, and unequal pay. DFEH alleges that women are subjected to constant sexual harassment, including groping, comments, and advances. The lawsuit alleges that the company's executive and human resource personnel knew of the harassment and failed to take reasonable steps to prevent unlawful conduct, and instead retaliated against women who complained. Activision Blizzard fostered a frat boy culture where female employees had to continually fend off unwanted sexual comments and advances by their male coworkers, the filing says. Now, Isaiah, do you play video games?
I do from time to time. I dabble in them.
This right here, I don't play Call of Duty, and this might really change my opinion about playing Call of Duty, honestly. Because if a company like this, who's highly respected, by the way, amongst millions of, like I said, 100 million people worldwide, a company like this, if they can't get their business put together right then and there at home, what's that? The message right there is not exactly the most ideal message that you would want to have as a player.
Yeah, I totally agree. So the thing about this story is that I feel like I've also heard Activision and Blizzard get into trouble for this kind of scenario happening like years ago as well. So, they keep saying like, oh, we're a changed company. This doesn't reflect like our company values or anything. But at some point, it is what it is. That is who you are. And it seems like they're just going to keep on continuing this kind of frat boy mentality. And this is also a problem like amongst a lot of technology and video game companies, especially in the United States, where like the men in there feel like they have this power over everyone else, and they're constantly attacking and making like advances towards female employees that are also there. And yeah, I feel like I don't know what is going on with like the video game industry where this is like a common theme. Like this is not like a new, like there's so many other companies that I feel like have gotten in trouble for like the same kind of situation going on. But this is also very disturbing, that it took, like, how can you be such a huge worldwide, like not even just nation, this is a worldwide company, millions of people are playing their games, fans of the games, they support the games, and you can't even just, treat your employees equally? Not even just like, if someone reports something, you're gonna blame them for reporting it. This
Honestly.
is just disgusting by Activision and Blizzard. And, I hope they face the consequences that they face. And just like you, like, I'm not a huge gamer as much as I used to be, but I used to play Call of Duty like all the time. Like that was like my go-to game. Me and my friends would play. And even now, it's like I might have it installed to my Xbox, but I'll probably delete it or something until something changes, right? Because there's plenty of other games in which employees are going to be treated better by their employer. So I don't know. This is tough to read. And yeah, Ali, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just I don't know how in this day and age people could think it's acceptable to have a work environment like that. Um, because I feel like women have done enough to kind of prove that they can like be in like male spaces, and I kind of feel like part of the power that you said that these men that like work in like the video game industry have kind of comes from the idea that like I see a lot of guys who play video games kind of present the idea that women don't like know about video games, they shouldn't be there, and I feel like that's where this power and this abuse is coming from in the workplace. And I think it's just horrible how this is happening in 2021, but I'm happy the state of California is suing them. So I say good for California for taking a stand against it and saying no more. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's also interesting, like video games in general, are very toxic, especially
Shoot.
like women streamers
Oh yeah.
and just women, like as soon as like they enter like a group chat or anything, like the lobby chat or whatever they still call it these days, it's like as soon as you hear their voice, people are attacking them or saying like some like unreasonable things as soon as like they hear that, oh, there's a girl in this lobby, let me like just be as creepy as possible. And especially for streamers, like they could just be playing a video game in a hoodie with like sweatpants on and they'll be like, oh my god, why, like they'll just say really just disgusting things in comments. So it's very, video games can be very toxic. And I don't want to just like hate on video games because obviously there's some good things. Like me and my
Yeah.
girlfriend, we've been playing Wheel of Fortune on the Nintendo Switch, so that's been fun. That might be the best Nintendo Switch game ever, guys. It's Wheel of Fortune. Great game. But yeah, so just I don't know what's going on with video games, but yeah, can we reduce a little bit of toxicity going on in that whole field of everything? Just like let's everyone calm down and realize like just because you're behind a screen doesn't mean like they're not human. At the end of the day, it's like having a conversation face to face. Like treat someone with the respect that you would want to be treated. No.
By the way, that Wheel of Fortune thing, that was just Isaiah's personal opinion of the
Oh
game.
yeah, definitely, 100%.
But
My
yeah,
opinion.
like you said, it's this third, like the video game community is so toxic. I play video games almost every day to pass the time because in the summer we have no job. What are you really gonna do? So I'm just gonna sit down and play video games, and I play MLB The Show, and just that community in general. Like I watch Twitch streams sometimes, I watch YouTube videos, and just seeing how toxic the gaming community is. And that's just that's like the tip of the iceberg. Wait to get to the rest of the gaming community. That's just a sports game. Mind you, when you get to like, Fortnite, Call of Duty, all those other games, it's just like a whole lot of wow toxicity is going crazy. And for playing with the female gamers, I feel for them because the amount of verbal abuse that they go through is just crazy. I never thought that another human being could ever speak to somebody that way. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, and the amount of racial slurs you can hear online in the span of 2 minutes,
oh my god, yes,
is wild. Especially in the Xbox 360 days, I was a young child hearing things that I should not have heard, and it was from other people my age too.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 lobbies were insane.
They were a thing. Ali, do you play video games at all? Do you have any?
I don't do any of like the online. I do like Mario, like Nintendo.
Oh,
that's cool. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm more into like Nintendo and stuff like that. But I think that like these games could be fun. But I also, just from hearing what you guys are saying, don't know if I'd want to join in on that.
You just have to mute everyone, and then it could be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised there's not like I don't know, like a censored lobby version, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that would work in video games. I don't know how it works, but
good luck with that one. We'll see how the people react to being muted, I guess.
Actually, see, I play on PlayStation, and actually think last year Sony came out and made it a way that it was more gamer friendly, more safe. And personally, say it does not reflect the station one bit. Personally, I think it's probably the best thing for young gamers to go through, because you don't want to be exposed to any of that negativity. Like I said, the gaming community is toxic, and just all those negative things that are said. It just shows that people that say these things, I guess they don't have happy lives outside the gaming world, and they're just trying to bring everybody down, and it's a bad way to look at it, but that's kind of what I'm realizing more and more. I applaud Sony for taking that step, taking that initiative. Was it critically planned? Yeah, I mean, people, gamers, older gamers don't like it, but at the same time, you gotta think that you're getting up there in age. Like, you gotta look out for the future generations, allow them to enjoy their gaming experience like better than you enjoyed it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, games are meant to have fun. So if you're ever getting annoyed at a game, or you're saying some wild stuff on a game, it's okay to turn it off, go outside for a little bit. And I feel like a lot of people do forget that video games are meant to be fun. So if you're about to throw your controller at the wall, maybe it's best you just turn off the system. It took me a while to learn that video games, just enjoy them while you have them, because eventually you might outgrow them. But moving on to a New Jersey story, guys, and this is some wild stuff going on, as a New Jersey man, age 91, was killed by a tree as he was cutting it. Officers reported at 6:38 p.m. to a man struck by a tree in the Sussex section of Vernon. According to police, Captain Keith C. Kimkowski, it was discovered that the victim was cutting the tree down on his property when the tree fell on the victim, Kimkowski said in an email. The man's death occurred less than 3 weeks after a 49-year-old woman was killed in the same township when a tree fell on the UPS delivery truck she was driving. Police at the time said the tree had been uprooted and toppled over her. What is going on with the trees in Sussex County? This is crazy. My first thing that I realized when I read the story is like, what is a 91-year-old man cutting a tree for? Like, I respect your hustle, but what? Like, did no one tell him to stop? Like, hire someone? Maybe you might be a little too old to be doing stuff like that now.
They're not wrong, but I mean, if it keeps you active, keeps you young, you do you, man. But wow. I don't know really what to say about that. That's just, I assume that he definitely has experience cutting trees,
Oh, for sure.
And I guess I don't know how it was up there yesterday, but down here it was so windy for a period of time. And I guess what happened was when he was cutting it down, the wind, there must have been wind up there, and it must have carried over and
Yeah, finish
knocked
the
the tree.
job from the other side.
It must have did that. Just it's that's really 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 tragic. And I with the that's I fear for the man. I fear for the man's family. My condolences to them. I hope that they are able to, get some sort of closure and are able just, I'm grieving. I'm grieving for you. I know. That's just wow.
So it's really sad because like I feel like he was like I don't know. I feel like when you're that age and you're still doing stuff like that, kind of is a testament to who you are as a guy, and like
Mhm.
kind of shows he was like a very hardworking and kind of like a family guy type man, and that just kind of makes it like even sadder. And my condolences go to the family.
Same here, guys. Condolences to the family, but also the UPS driver was just driving and a tree fell on her whole car. That's wild too.
Yeah, that's insane. That's just insane.
Like, what are the odds of that? That's like getting struck by lightning, no? Like, what? Like, that's just a stroke of unlikeness. Um, and once again, to her and her family, hopefully, they have, you know, time to cope with all this crazy stuff going on. But that is a wild story as well. Just doing your job and a tree falls on your car. You can't
You know,
even like do anything about it. It just
honestly, it's
happens.
just that's just that's just the crazy part. And yesterday, I was driving. I was door dashing, and I was getting through, and I just heard this giant boom. I was like, "What the heck was that?" I get out the car, and I just see like parts of a tree just hit my car. It was just a few, it's like a few branches, but like I got out the car, I was so concerned. I got out. I got way out. I drove so fast legally, of course,
Legally,
but
of course. Yeah, yeah.
legally, not Jersey legal, but
Yeah.
legally.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
drove so fast to get out the wooded area I was in to make sure that there's no further damage to my car because it was just it was insane. It was insane.
Honestly, though, after hearing these stories, respect to the families, I would be so mad if that's how I went out by a tree. Be like what did I do? Like, was it a past life? Was I reincarnated and this is how I was supposed to plan out or something? That's
It
just ugh.
really does feel like Mother Nature is just kind of like getting you with that one. I wouldn't like
Yeah.
Honestly,
Mm-hmm. Maybe this past life kind of deal where maybe they were responsible for the wildfires. Who even knows? But we are going to transition into probably the most wild story of the day, in my personal opinion. And Cam, I feel like this is a story that you need to read for us. So take it away. What's happening in Maine?
okay. Cocaine disguised as cake seized from a vehicle in Maine. A New York man and a Maine woman are facing charges over cocaine disguised as cake that was seized from their vehicle. The Maine Drug Enforcement Agency said Wednesday. No, yeah, that. Police stopped the car on Interstate 295 in Gardner on Tuesday, and a drug sniffing dog found 4 pounds of cocaine worth $200,000 on the street. Said the MDEA. About $1,900 in cash was seized. About 2 pounds of cocaine was disguised as a marble cake with coffee grounds used to cover up the scent, officials said. The two were released on bail and are expected in court on Wednesday. There is no way that I just read that. Are you
This is
kidding me?
all real.
Are you kidding me?
This is the greatest story I've ever heard. And this just goes to show how terrible a state Maine is. I'm going to continue my hate on the state for no reason. But this made me smile last night as I'm reading this story. It's like, this is a sketch comedy written out for like a fake news thing, and I was like, nah, the AP News would never make a fake article like that. But yeah, so they disguise cocaine with as a marble cake.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
I give them props. That is really creative. I
Yo, yeah,
gotta
That's
say.
fine.
100%.
Reduce a year off their sentence for creativity, guys.
Yo, I'm saying though. First of all, $200,000.
Yeah.
Yo, what?
How big was this cake?
Honestly,
It was a wedding size cake at this
yo,
point.
it had to be. It had to be a wedding size cake.
You know what's also great? They also almost had $2,000 in cash with them. So
What?
maybe,
Like what? Like what?
maybe they just took away another cake already. Maybe they had multiple cakes of cocaine just in their car.
Are you kidding me? I'm still trying to fathom that. They had they mix cake with coke. Yo,
Hey, that's how you roll, and with coffee grounds too.
yeah, like coffee grounds cake, and coke. That's a recipe for disaster right there. You listen. If you want to end up in jail, do that. Don't
It was
do that,
almost
though.
success though. They had
Yeah,
almost $2,000 in cash. Maybe it was working for a while.
They almost that's the crazy part about all that. They almost got away with it too. They almost got away with that. Are you kidding me?
I hope that I'm just really hoping that there was like a YouTube tutorial that they watched, or like how to
Honestly.
disguise cocaine, and like there was like a very small underground video where it's like just make it look like a cake, man, and that
Step
is how
one.
you get away with it. Step
Step
one, bake a
one.
cake.
Did they like bake the? I'm just wondering how they made it look like a cake. Like, do they bake it into the cake? Is it like?
I wish
Yo,
I had the information for that.
I want
I
a
really
picture of this
did.
cake.
I have to, I want to find a picture of this too. Like, this is insane. This is insane.
You know what I really want to know is the reaction the cops had as like they bring the dogs in and they're like, oh, they probably don't have anything. It's just a cake. And then all of a sudden the dog's going crazy and they discover that much cocaine. It's like, what is the cop like? Do they initially laugh too with the story? Because I feel like I'd have to chuckle at least like a smile or something, like respect to you guys, because that was the most creative way to smuggle some drugs.
They win it. They win it. All time creativity.
Mhm.
The main couple wins it.
I respect the
This
hustle,
is-
and they deserve a Netflix show. Like, just I don't know. I need something to know what this couple was like. I need to know about their life now.
Wait a minute. I think I found a picture of it. All right, so since I'm on my phone, I'm just about to use to flip the camera real quick.
For the viewers, we might be seeing a picture
That
of said cake, and yep, it is a cake.
it's
It is
a
definitely
cake.
a cake.
Whole
And
lot of
plenty of
bills.
cash. For those
that's-
that can't see, they really did put cocaine in a cake, and I've never seen that
Yeah.
much cash spread out on the table. But hey, shout out to Maine Police Department for catching the cocaine criminals.
I also like how they
Photos from AP.
like I like how they put up all the props around like the seal of arms or whatever that is. Like, I don't know if anyone else noticed
They
that. but
framed the
to all
whole
the
picture.
viewers,
That was
Yeah,
very
like-
respectful of them.
it was a very nice, like they had a
Yeah.
whole photo shoot with it. Like,
It was like a Hall of Fame ceremony for those criminals. It's like we have to give them at least some respect here. And
That's a
on their
lot of
way out.
cash. That's a lot of cash.
That
That is a
really
lot
is.
of cash.
You know what I wonder though? You think they kept the cake? Or do you think they threw out the cake? How do you dispose of that? I think that's an interesting question. Is how do you
How do you dispose of that cake like that?
I think we need to interview all these police officers and see what they've eaten recently. And if any of them say cake, we know what's up. But we are going to transition into our final story of the day. And it is in Tennessee, a state we rarely talk about here on the Morning Buzz. But here we are talking about Tennessee as a man frees trapped bear from inside of his car. Joseph Deal posted a TikTok showing how he opened the door to his car while visiting Gatlinburg with his friends and allowed a trapped bear to exit the vehicle. Deal said the car seemed to be functioning condition after the bear's exit, but the damage caused to it break down on his drive home to Johnson City. He said he had to leave the car on the side of the road where someone broke in and stole the battery catalytic converter, and exhaust manifold. Deal's insurance company declared the vehicle to be totaled. There's a lot of information to unpack here, I feel, in this story, as the car breakdown, it happens, but someone pretty much stole his whole car, and
The
then
bear stole his car. The bear stole the car.
like how is someone just gonna steal that much stuff from inside the car and then just like dip? That's absurd. Like, I don't expect, like, if I left my car on the side of the road, I'm not expecting someone to just take the inside of it.
No word. Like, what's up?
And then the bear, I'm totally forgetting the bear part where there's just a bear in his car. He's just chilling.
What if the person that took the parts put the bear inside the car to make it look like that the bear did it?
Oh, he's trying to frame the bear.
Yeah.
It's like their pet, and there's like, listen, you just stay here a couple days, you can come back home, but we really need your help on this. We cannot get caught here. This is hilarious.
Please watch the video. Please watch the video.
Oh, come on.
I just did. He just gets out of the car and he looks like a human getting out of the car for some reason, the bear.
All right, here I'm about to put it up. This is from Joseph Deal
on TikTok, guys. This is via TikTok content. So, I believe Annabella hates TikTok. So if anything, maybe this will get her on board with us on the TikTok crew. That is, oh my gosh, he does look like a human. For those who don't understand, the guy just opened his door and a bear strolls out. Not even panicked or anything. Legs. He got up on both legs and is like, all right, I was just chilling for the night, guys. Like, please don't charge me for fare or anything. That is hilarious. Also, respect to the guy that opened his door. I don't think I'd have enough courage to just open a door for a bear.
Yeah, that car would be the bear's if that was.
I know. I'd be like, at this point, if you can get out, Mr. Bear, you can get out, but I am not helping you. Like, this is your home.
Nah,
do what you want.
Watch that. That's probably the funniest video. See, whoever the insurance company is, listen. My man got his car stolen by a bear. Come on now. Come on now. Like, give him a pass. Help him out, please.
Did you guys have this on your 2021 bingo card of anything can happen? Because this is just the most random state, the most random animal, and just the most random story possible.
I did not know there were bears in Tennessee, honestly.
I didn't know either. And also, like, just saying that story to, like, say he didn't have the video, right? And he's just reporting this to the police department. He's like, yeah, my car broke down. People stole all my items, and now a bear's in my car. I would not believe this. I would think this man was, like, from Maine and doing, like, a bunch of cocaine.
He had the cake. He had
a nice slice of cake. Like, this story doesn't sound real at all. But then there's video proof of this.
Yo, nah. When I first read the headline, I'm like, wait, what? I saw the video. I saw the video. I started laughing. Like, I'm literally. To the viewers, to the listeners out there. I was literally just sitting there laughing watching this video. It's just so humorous to me. You see a bear walk out and just get the car. Thanks, man. I'm out.
It's a feel-good story. That's the last story of the show that you really need is just a bear inside of a man's car, and then he's freed.
Listen, here's the thing. Bear's my favorite animal, so like I'm always for a good bear story. Oh yeah, I'm always for a good bear story. Okay. I love me some bears.
What are your thoughts on polar bears?
Love polar bears. They need to be protected. I'm saying though, they really need to be protected because global warming is getting crazy, and those are majestic creatures that just need to be protected.
I learned something crazy the other day about panda bears. Since we're talking about bears now, is that for zoos, like they're so rare that they have to rent the panda, and like zoos kind of like share pandas, which is very crazy to me. It's like I didn't know you could just rent an animal and then like trade them off to like, all right, the Bronx Zoo, we had like this panda for a couple months. We're gonna loan him to you guys for like the next year or so or something like that. So I think I discovered that on TikTok, or I saw an article about it. Either way, very interesting. I didn't know that was like a thing.
That's crazy.
Once again, the ghost of Kenny is a savage in the chat, and I'm not sure if I can even say that on air, but that's hilarious.
I'll think you can. Yep, there we go.
Firm no from the ghost. But yeah, it's been a great show, guys. Any lasting comments before we close it out here? Anything? Go Bears.
I hope I'm not a Bears fan. Hope a bear doesn't steal my car.
I would hope
Yeah,
like a
Matt.
deer, like what if a raccoon got in my car? I feel like that would
That's
be worse than a
terrifying.
bear.
Yeah,
The
I
raccoon
think
would
so
eat
too.
the inside of everything.
Anyways, guys, we got to close out the show. It's been a great ride. It's been me, Isaiah. It's been Cam. It's been Allie. And the ghost of Kenny is still saying some savage things in the comment section. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And we'll be back Friday for a recap show. And then our crew will be back Thursday. Enjoy your day, guys. And, feel good about it. Bye.